Hello? Hello? I don't know what happened, man. I don't know. I think OBS kind of freaked out or something, or maybe it was just my bad internet. Whatever. Let's continue with the game.
Good plan. Impossible things
Hi,
don't
Mom,
just
take those
happen.
off.
We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina
I'm
understands
sure
any more about what
makes
happens than
them
we
look
do.
a lot less suspicious if
Thanks,
you
Nadia.
weren't there.
Well, we'll be going then.
I mean, you guys really do
Best of
look
luck
like
to you.
mafioso. It would help them more if you guys weren't there in the stands on their side. Oh, also, I've been hearing this.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
Okay, stop there. I also have been hearing like theories of Neuvillette being the hydro dragon that makes the rain in Fontaine, which has resulted in some funny fan-made comics, fan comic strips, fan art and stuff. It's cool. Yeah, I mean the info card that we got for Neuvillette, we know he's a hydro, but we don't know where the hydro power comes from. So it could be that he's just a dragon, just a elemental creature instead of a person granted elemental powers by Celestia.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you
I
all
mean,
look
Lumine is willing.
disappointed?
I just think
Don't
that
tell
you
me
guys
that
should
your
get a proper lawyer,
investigation
like
came
Yanfei.
out empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
You know what else is hard to? What
But
kind
don't
of
let
proof
that
is hard
stop
to
you.
produce?
I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Anyway, you know what else is hard to produce proof of? Things that don't exist. It's harder to prove that unicorns don't exist than it is to prove that unicorns do, come up with circumstantial evidence of unicorns existing. So it's easier to come up with circumstantial evidence that Linny and Lynette are behind the kidnappings than it is to prove that they are not 20 years old and did not start with the... Oh, wait, yeah, this is Taybot. We have a bunch of characters that look like children and are hundreds of years old. Damn it, Taybot!
Since both parties are present,
Oh, Neuvillette,
I
there you are.
declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Really,
Firstly,
it feels like
in order for the
such a
audience to
short
understand
time.
the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Honestly, sounds like you guys did more work than we did.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lenny is clearly lying.
Hey, she did the thing! She did the pose!
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were
Alright, the
hardly
missing
in
girl is
that
named
tunnel
Halsey.
at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Please
Oh,
produce evidence,
is that
Farina.
so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And
Yeah, I'm surprised
you
that they
didn't
can hear each other from
anything
this
else at
distance.
all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
see.
Also, I'm surprised.
But
Well,
when the
yeah,
count
this
reached
isn't
30 seconds
like
or so, there was a thud.
the
One so
American
loud that I
shows
believe
of
practically
the.
everyone heard it.
Huh?
Yeah, this isn't like American lawyer shows. I guess this is Tevat. I guess they have their own things of doing things, their own way of doing things. Sorry. So they don't have a jury, and apparently the witnesses can just talk to each other. Well, Karuna isn't a witness. She's the prosecutor, I guess. I don't know. It just feels unfair to have the Archon prosecuting us. If they get an Archon, then we should get Yanfei. We should get an Adeptus and Adepti.
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
I don't know. That may have happened while he was underground.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Ah, the Oratrice. I don't know. Now that I think about it, the Oratrice doesn't really sound that reliable, I guess, because people can feel guilty about things they aren't guilty of. Like, you know, survivor's guilt is a thing where you feel bad for living when some other person died. So, I don't know, basing someone's innocence or guilt entirely on their and other people's feelings just doesn't sound reliable, I guess.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
She
Of course,
really is a
I
drama
have
queen,
armed
huh?
myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The what?
The
Also,
House of the Heart?
I like how the aspect ratio changed like there, but house. I think that's under Arlecchino, right? That harbinger lady.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing.
The House of the Hearth.
Now it all makes sense.
I've got
An
a feeling that what
orphanage, right?
happened on stage
They-
probably wasn't just an accident.
I don't know if it's just an orphanage. I don't see why
That's
that
irrelevant.
makes them.
Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Yeah, just because they're orphans doesn't mean that they're bad guys. House of the... Unless... Like, okay, I haven't really done a lot of reading on, like, the game stuff. I didn't really... Like, I still haven't gone through all of my characters' like, voice stories. I forgot what it's called. The one where the voice actors, like, you can find out about the character's favorite food and stuff. So yeah, I haven't done too much digging on like Fontaine and like Tevat lore in general. So what I'm trying to say is House of the Hearth like considered a, I don't know, a big deal, like a crime syndicate or something? Are you saying that makes them more like suspicious than Navia and her two mafioso bodyguards?
Indeed.
Oh,
Then
that's
perhaps
cool.
you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first
I mean, they just did.
priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it.
Seriously, the fact that they're from House of the Hearth, it has nothing to do with this case.
The Outlander is speechless.
Oh my God.
don't they look flabbergasted.
You are such a
Now
drama
comes
queen,
the
I love you.
infighting in Discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
The fact that
Good
they're
thing I made all
orphans
those
is not related to the
preparations.
case.
Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Well, at least you're actually trying. I guess I'd rather lose to someone who tried than someone who half-assed this. I mean, it's not really related
Order!
to the
Mr.
case.
Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points.
You don't have a
First,
gavel,
when
Novila?
the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth.
Oh,
Are
hearth.
these
We're
claims
not hearth.
true?
Sure, but Paimon, seriously, take those glasses off. We are in court. House operatives? We didn't see any other house operatives. We just saw a child. Sure, maybe,
Please
but you
answer my
also like
question, Mr.
met
Linney.
Fatui members that
sorry.
aren't completely bad.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Like the ones that were stuck in the chasm.
I knew it!
You didn't know shit!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Okay.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Seriously, okay. Has there been any previous like evidence to support the fact that the Fatui are somewhat related to the missing persons case? No? If not, then why does it matter that they're orphans from House of the Hearth?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
I mean, I was never a lawyer in the
that
first place.
case, my dear audience, let's allow the
Ooh, I
joy
love her
of
hair in the back
victory
like
to
this.
steep for a little while longer.
Looks like, you know, the vanilla ice cream with caramel swirls in it. Only it's blue. Come on,
Well,
you met
this
Fatui
is
people who aren't
awkward.
all that bad.
I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, at this point, I think the worst Fatui Harbinger you know is
We
Dotori.
trusted you two.
I highly doubt Linny and
We
Lynette
based
are
our
as bad as
entire
Dotori.
reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm
Well, at
very
least you took
sorry.
off your glasses for this, Paimon.
I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain.
I know
you've
think they're
clashed
being
with the Fatui
unreasonably
several
angry.
times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Yeah.
Right now,
Some of
we
you guys
want
are
to save
bakers.
people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm
Yeah,
sure
the
we're on the
magic
same
pocket
page when it
thing.
comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends.
I know that I was kind of sus of these two before, but
That's why I
now,
didn't wish to
knowing
flat
that
out
they're
lie to you,
Fatui, I'm more
but
on their
chose to
side.
hide
Because
some
it has
details
nothing to
instead.
do with the case.
The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
Yeah, I guess they really should have just told Lumine and Paimon all of
Right.
this in the first place.
So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician,
Fatus.
a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm
okay, I
asking
don't
you
think
to
that was a
trust me.
coincidence, but
I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
yeah, but I don't think they're
Sorry.
killers.
Please forgive us.
They could be con artists, they could be
both say
tricksters,
that,
but
but-
I don't think they're killers.
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Were you
Of course.
lying?
I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
Does it deliver sentences accurately if it's just based on people's feelings? Also, it has a consciousness, so that thing can think on its own?
During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box.
Okay, how could they have gotten all the way to the Oratrice then? It wasn't on... I don't remember, but the Oratrice wasn't on stage with them at the time, right?
So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
Okay.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Why did you want to look at the Oratrice in the first place?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Okay. So,
should have been impossible,
we don't have any
of
rock
course.
hard
I
solid
was quite
evidence
certain
for
that
this,
I
right?
was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
So you didn't actually see the core.
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Yeah, so why did you want to investigate the Oratrice in the first place? And if the voice that you heard was, I don't know, the Oratrice, I guess it would make sense that it would know who you are. I guess it's like the amalgamation of every Fontainian's feelings, kind of, right?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Huh.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have
But
it.
the prophecy
whole
didn't
truth.
mention the Oratrice.
I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
So I guess it would make
It
sense
was
they
never my
wanna
wish to
try
proceed under
every
this cloud of
avenue.
mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
True.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you
Oh, I
choose.
forgot that I put Lumine in Electro. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh?
Which is...
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
for once. Okay, let's check. Anything for us to steal in here? Yes, so... Once again, I think they're telling the truth this time because I don't know, they don't seem like the kind of Fatui who would kill people.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
Let's.
When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Okay.
That took long enough.
I really don't
Now
get
then,
how your
if
justice
everyone
justice
would lend
system
me
works.
their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
Ah, she did the thing again. Okay. Oh, you're gonna make this into a puzzle?
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
Okay.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed.
How could Cowell have been in the tunnel if there were only 2 entrances? And both entrances were from the box.
So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Passed Halsey to his accomplices through the magic box in the audience stand, but then that would mean Halsey should have been in that box, right? But it was Linny that was in the box.
That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
Yeah, there were only 2 here. There were only like 2 entrances into the tunnel, and both through the box, so people would have seen if Cowell got into either of the boxes. And if Halsey was in the box in the audience, we would have seen her when we opened the box.
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw.
Right, there was the vent. I forgot, we found a vent in the tunnels. Huh. Can I not refute this one? Because I actually want to refute these 2, I guess. No, I have to refute them. No. No. No? How does this refute that? Okay. Yeah.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Yeah, he didn't know about the... No? That's the loophole? I thought the loophole was gonna be that...
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Yeah, I thought the loophole was gonna be that Cowell couldn't have gotten in there without someone noticing. So if Linny came through the vents, then he would have noticed Cowell coming through at that time. Like, he went in and out of the vents, and there wasn't a lot of time. It was like 75 seconds, so he would have noticed Cowell using the vents to get in and out too. And the only other ways in and out are through the boxes, which Cowell was not in. Yeah, Cowell wasn't seen getting in or out of either. Yeah, this one. No? I was gonna say that Lenny couldn't have passed on Halsey to an accomplice because no one was seen leaving or going, coming or going. I don't think we can refute this one. So... This?
Lenny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Attention!
He's Detective Paimon.
Paimon has something to say!
Okay, say it,
When the
Paimon.
countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel.
Okay.
But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera
He
House
vented.
basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately.
Did the voice say his name or did I misread that?
The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Innocent! Oh, come on. That should have at least gotten a little more people on our side rather than just 50% of the
Paimon
room.
did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
In other words,
It would have been
you
more awesome
believe
if you
that
said
he
it
knew
without those glasses
nothing
on.
of the incident?
That's right!
Yes.
My reasoning?
Yeah, that's right. The rope thing was like replaced with rope that could be easily burned, right?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming
Oh, yeah,
that what
that- I
you
forgot.
say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
Yeah, the whole thing was that
That's right,
they
you tell 'em.
purposefully
And
wanted
that's
to
why they're
kill
partners
Cowell
of
too,
mine.
right?
They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claim?
What proof do you have to back your claims that Cowell just ran into Liddy in that tunnel? I mean, at first you claimed that that killing Cowell was also a part of the plan. But the way you said it makes it sound like, you know, Cowell just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask?
Well, he wasn't in the magic box.
You're saying that he wasn't?
Oh, okay.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks there's something off here.
No. I don't know what I meant to refute.
Lenny
Oh,
wasn't in the box or in the
Right.
tunnel. That's why he did something strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
I mean, we don't have proof that he was or was not in the box or the tunnel at the time.
Such logic.
Neither of us have proof to our claim,
Lenny
really.
who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Oh. The fireworks released near the end of the show. Okay, why was Cowell in the box in the first place?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
Huh. Well, she's missing, so we can't really question her, but why would Cowell orchestrate his own death?
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Okay, if there was no third person involved, the one that's most... If there was a third person, I don't know how they could have gone anywhere without people noticing them.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary
And like I said,
member.
I don't think Cowell would have
Or did she
wanted
have her
to
own scheme all
orchestrate
along?
his own death or commit suicide in this way. Nope.
Could there have been a third person?
No, it was Cowell? Come on,
The
the dude
deceased's name
died!
is Cowell, Lenny's assistant.
Why would he do this? What's his motive then? How is this correct?
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Thanks for saying that with conviction,
Is that
Paimon.
so?
Because I don't have
How
that conviction right now.
interesting. Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Oh, he was the one who was trying to kidnap Halsey, and Halsey somehow got away and put him in the box instead? Wait. So did he know that Lenny was gonna go to the Oratory's core instead, so he wouldn't be in that tunnel and he wouldn't get in the way of the kidnapping?
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The
Okay.
sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely
they
have
would have
bumped
bumped
into
into Lenny
Lenny as
too.
well. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yeah, Lenny wasn't there, so there was no one to get in his way.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Yeah.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So, there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
Yeah.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing...
What? 3 incorrect? Or is it the...
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey?
Is the order
It
supposed
would have been
to?
tough for
Is the
both
order
people to
important?
fit into that vent. They would.
Huh?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. The sound we heard may have come from a clap.
I don't know. Let me
The
just.
deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's.
No. So I guess the order is important then.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash. No one entered or left the opera house through. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
I
No
have
one
no idea what I'm
entered or
supposed
left the
to.
opera house.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm supposed to collect it to select anymore. So I'm just gonna.
No one entered or left.
I'm just gonna do whatever.
The deceased's name is. Halsey's clothing was.
Two wrong. Okay.
The sound we heard may have. It
I
would
have
been
no
tough for
idea
both-
what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. This is why I've never played law games. Okay.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Yeah, we still don't know where Halsey
I
is.
see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for
Okay,
it.
okay, let me
But
try
it
this.
seems you're still far
So
from the
if
truth.
Cowell purposely messed with the equipment and he knew that Linny wouldn't be there at the time, he purposely chose a woman, a young lady in the audience to kidnap because he's somehow related to the 20-year-long kidnapping, maybe not. So if he purposely tried to kidnap her, he took her out of the box and there was a scuffle. Halsey somehow got away and knocked him out and then put him in the box instead. But by that time she was already freaked out, so she changed clothes and escaped on her own because, you know, she's freaked out. She has no idea what just happened or what she's gonna do, and now she is missing of her own volition.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why
And
not
Cowell is
consider a
dead.
different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
Yeah, no kidding.
If
I don't think
only
he
we
wanted
knew
anyone to
how Halsey
die.
disappeared.
She
Well,
went
that
through the
would
vent.
be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely.
The vent. Or she didn't leave the tunnel when Linny came in. She left after Cowell had, you know, died. And everyone was already on stage. Linny and Lynette weren't in the tunnel anymore.
And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Excuse my interruption, dear
Oh,
opponent.
there was water
But
in
do
the
you not see that
tunnel.
the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
So where did the water in the tunnel come from? Is Halsey like an oceanite or something? Did she just change into water? Oh, there goes the second one.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage
This
of
is
the trial.
Tivat. Normal looking people could not be normal people.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Yeah.
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
That one?
disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
And like I said, she went missing of her own volition. But what does the
Lynette
water have to
escaped
do
from
with
the
it?
water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Yeah.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
She's an oceanid?
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
I mean, Lupin and Paimon can teleport all around Tivat. There's no reason why someone else can't through other means.
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
Yeah, I'm sure all of his stuff is already in evidence, so might as well take him out and show him in court.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
I mean, you also brought up a completely unrelated thing. The fact that they're Fatui and from the House of Hearth. That has nothing to do with the crime.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment.
You really shouldn't. We're not lawyers. Someone please get Yanfei.
The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense.
Should we really?
Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
Yeah, that's why I thought it couldn't have been him, because then that would mean he orchestrated his own death. But if his death wasn't part of the plan, then maybe.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
No, let's do it.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
I mean, once again, the fact that you brought up that they're from the House of Hearth could also be you stalling the trial. Because it's not
Nevertheless,
related.
I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney.
Thank you, Neuvillette.
Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Callum.
Guards, come.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
Yes, Esmond, go on.
We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately.
Okay.
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
And that means...
The primordial sea.
Yes, Mr. Hydro Dragon?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
So there is a third person involved?
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times.
Oh, please don't tell me that the water we found in the tunnel was actually Halsey. That's kinda creepy.
One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
Oh, so Halsey fought back. She put Cowell in the box and then drank it? But why would she drink it if she didn't know what it was? And she was just freaked out. Or Cowell could have force-fed it to her, and before like it could take effect, she'd already knocked him out and he fell in the box.
The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of
was this
test
part
subject.
of the prophecy? Where the people drown or like become one with water? I forgot what the prophecy was about.
As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Is it really?
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Well, I mean, Linny and Lynette have believed in the prophecy this whole time.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but It's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowl was targeting that girl...
Oh, so he was gonna put her in... He really didn't mean to take her, he just wanted to leave her in the box as water and have the tank like go on, you know, crash into the box and then have her, I guess, dissolved along with the water from the tank?
Just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
I honestly don't trust you, Navia. I think you're just pulling stuff out from your ass.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found.
Actually, if she turned into water, and if all of the other missing young ladies also turn into water, the ones that have been missing for the past 20 years, that makes sense why no one has been able to find them or a body. They're water now. Oh, that's actually pretty sad and dark and creepy.
Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines.
Oh.
Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
His hypothesis that the prophecy is real?
Of course.
Is true?
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was his hypothesis again?
If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
Metal hook?
Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the
metal hook,
primordial
the one from
sea.
the tunnel that looked like a, I forgot what it's called, but one of those things that you throw to get up on walls and stuff. Water from the primordial sea.
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Okay.
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Right.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
We already saw
Lynette
that.
was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this?
I don't think so.
I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
I honestly don't know what to do with any of this, so I'ma just...
The rope that strung the water from the primordial sea.
Everything.
I remember there was some... The deceased's name is Now it seems like the hook rope...
select everything. Go. Yep, all of it was wrong.
The water from the primordial... Lynette was in the magic box on stage. The rope that strung the... Lynette was in the magic box on... Now it seems like the hook rope... The deceased's name is...
Nope, all of it wrong. Okay, what next?
Lynette was in the magic box...
Does Lynette have anything to do with this? We shall see.
Lynette was in the magic box...
Can I choose just Lynette?
Lynette was in the magic box on...
Nope, we can't.
I remember there was some... The rope that strung the water... The water from the primordial...
Yeah, go with all of it. Let's go.
The deceased's name is
Okay, Cowell.
Now it seems like the hook rope. The water from the primordial...
That.
Lynette was in the magic box. I remember there was some...
Oh, cool.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
Go on, Paimon.
In plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target.
Okay.
When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Why?
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey.
So I guess you didn't have to force feed
Cowell
it.
would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage.
Ooh,
But
which means
he encountered something unexpected in the
water
tunnel,
was
and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
That means that Halsey is
does make sense.
the water, and she's already
That actually
either
links
been mocked
together
up
a
or
lot of the more
evaporated.
confusing pieces of evidence.
That means 2 people died.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
What do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
I mean,
Now,
you
it
just
seems like
worked
the
on
only point
the
of
information
contention
that you had at
remaining
the
is
time.
the exact circumstances that led to Cal's
Even
death.
we didn't really
His
think of
notes
this until
mentioned
just
he had
now.
an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Oh, right. Does the accomplice have a name?
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Okay.
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case.
So Linny,
And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
Huh?
What?
That can't be.
Where's the primordial sea again? Is it already on the map?
I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you.
Oh, did the
Does this
true
not
other
clear all
accomplice...
doubt? My dear
Yeah, did the true other
citizens,
accomplice
my
plant this
loyal
in
audience,
Linny's stuff?
allow me to present
Did he
my
plant
reasoning
evidence?
and bring this performance to a swift close.
Okay. Again?
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
Oh, right.
Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea.
I still can't believe that she's also dead and water now. Yo.
But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
So he wanted credit for... he wanted people to know that he turned someone into water?
Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon.
So, well, to use the vase.
Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
Okay, but what does the Fatui have to do with any of this? What would they want with this? They just want the no-seeds.
Am I right? We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way. Is this the end of...
Nah, something's gonna happen.
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this.
What was the motive?
Seems
What was
using the
Cowell's
water as
motive?
new
Why does he
evidence
want to
was too
turn
good a
people
move.
into water?
Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
No, I mean, come on. Why would Linny kill
Now
Cowell
then,
if
my
they were
good,
accomplices?
noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Okay, something's gonna happen, but I just want to say, why would Linny have killed Cowell if they were accomplices? What do you mean he wanted the whole, I don't know, credit, all of the credit to go to him? Credit for what? He killed Cowell and now people are suspecting him of all of this? That couldn't have been his plan. It would have been smarter to just leave Cowell alive and have, even if he did leave Cowell alive, we'd still have a missing girl, and it's still, you know, suspicious, and he'd still get into trouble. So really, why kill Cowell or turn Halsey into water in the first place?
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Welcome back, Navia.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know.
Okay.
Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Huh?
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes.
Did you use your geo powers
Do the honors,
to like
Mr. Linney, if you would be
turn
so
Halsey
kind.
back into flesh
What
and
in the
bone?
world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Aw, he sounds dejected now. Poor Lenny.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again?
Where did you find her?
And wouldn't such a trick be the most
I thought
marvelous
they'd
finale
have,
to today's
I don't know,
performance?
mopped up the water, or like the water would have
Lenny
evaporated
and
by
Lynette,
now.
give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
Are you really allowed
as
to
the
do this
magic
in
makers
court?
and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
You do? Because I don't. Now,
And voila.
did Spina di Rosula do that too? Oh. Hey! She did somehow reverse it.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you didn't
Wait,
get mopped up or evaporate.
Isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after
she
all?
did not dissolve
To be clear,
at all?
I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
Oh, you were the
I was hiding
accomplice?
outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just
You're
feeling
Cal's
happy that no one had
accomplice?
noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
Not there. Criminals always have a tendency
That'll
to come
teach
back
you
to
to
the scene of the
underestimate
crime.
us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
What?
Yeah, what was the motive? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's
Oh.
Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
Oh, so if the
I
primordial
heard
water
that
only
Linny's
works on
show
people
was
in
going to be a
Fontaine,
real
she...
thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so
Oh.
I stole one.
Okay.
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed
Yeah,
at the
so
harbor a
she's
few
from
days ago,
Mondstadt.
and I barely got away. Lenny was the one who caught me in the act.
Oh, yeah, I remember you now.
No wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief!
Yeah, so if she's
Lenny
not
even
from Fontaine,
mentioned
then the
that you were
water
pretty
wouldn't have worked
skilled.
on her. She'd have just
Well,
gone
and I
wet.
thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me.
Wait, who did you steal the ticket from? That...
He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure.
Oh, right, they did mention that in the script of the show, but... Wait, so if you... Who did you steal the ticket from? She would have been the original target then, right? Okay, so I guess you didn't know about Cowell's whole plan then, so you're not the other accomplice. Oh, if you hadn't stolen that ticket, someone definitely would have been dead. Someone definitely would have been water by now. Oh, gosh.
So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel
She
to
just
nap
got wet
me.
instead of turning into water.
I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box.
And then you...
There was
through
nowhere
the
to run
vent?
from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box
Oh,
containing
so yeah, you were
performance
still in the
costumes.
tunnel.
I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Ah, yeah, so you didn't leave the opera house, you were just
Can
here
a
the
person
whole time.
even hide in there?
Yeah, professional thief could have made it work. Yeah, so she didn't leave through the vent or through any of the boxes. She just stayed in the tunnel. That's why Linny didn't notice her. Linny and Lynette didn't notice her at all through the trick.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Either way, I'm glad that she's not water. Thank you for being from Venti's Land of Freedom. Oh my god. Okay, so Linny entered the tunnel. Halsey didn't dissolve. No. No. Honestly, I just want to get this over with, so I'm gonna choose everything.
The strange sound.
Okay, so there was no confrontation between Linny and Cowell.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
Huh. So Linny didn't knock him out. Lillian did.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
Yeah.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
Of course. Go ahead,
Having
Paimon.
been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked.
Mm-hmm.
Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard.
That's right.
Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket.
You know, this wasn't necessary. You could have just said that she's from Mondstadt, instead of emphasizing the fact that she's a thief.
Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box.
Okay, this is, no, circumstantial and also, like, an assumption. You don't know what he was thinking at the time, because he's dead.
The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but
That
Lillian
could have been possible.
came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box.
Damn, Venti, what you be feeding all those Mondstadters?
With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Okay. That sounds about right. And the whole time, Liddy had no idea what was going on, meaning he is innocent. Also, is Lynette. Lynette is also innocent.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
What have you been eating?
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons.
Oh.
So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
And I thought she was an invisible person.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Okay.
Bravo! Bravo!
I don't think this is something you should be bravoing for.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
Farina, I think this should be one of those times where you're glad you're wrong.
Please answer the
Because
question,
it
Lady
means
Farina.
that not an...
Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Your babysitter knows you well. Yeah, Farina, I think this should be one of those times where you're glad you're wrong. Because it means that someone else didn't go missing. Another young woman didn't go missing to continue this 20-year missing persons case. Missing people's case. Ugh. Yeah, so... did that mean that the other girls were also turned into water? Well, not also, because Lillian didn't
What?
get her into
Are you
water.
reading my mind now?
Oh, so I'm guessing that the
No,
person
I
Lillian
have no
stole the
further
tickets from is the real Halsey, who
I admit
didn't get to
defeat.
come.
But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Sure, that's fine. Have your dignity. So I'm guessing that Halsey is the real Halsey is the one Lillian stole the ticket from. I wonder if she knew about any of this.
Wow.
Must have been some.
She's like a deflated balloon now.
Honestly, if I was the real Halsey, I'd feel like relieved. Like, damn, I could have been dead.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
Okay.
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his
Yeah, he
next
does look
victim
like
from the
he-
audience reservation list.
I don't know. Does he look like
With
he'd
some
be old
modifications
enough
to
to
the
have gone
selector,
through?
he could ensure that the pre-selected young
this?
woman would be chosen.
Yeah, does he look old enough to have been the person behind all of the disappearances in the past 20 years?
To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally,
Did we see a puff
he
balloon
passed
in
the
there,
prepared
though?
hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing
And-
the young woman to said box.
And I guess it would make sense we didn't see any of the water inside the box, cause it already fell on her and probably got absorbed by her clothes, huh? The clothes that we found in the underground. Okay, so I guess we can't get samples of the primordial seawater from. Well, actually, we already have samples from Cowell's stuff. Right. Okay, carry on.
When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water.
Okay.
If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim.
Damn, Venti,
Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
So I'm guessing y'all are okay with Linny, I don't know, trespassing into, I don't know if I'm guessing that no one's allowed to go near the core of the oratrice, so you're okay with Linny trespassing, I guess? Maybe, because it means that he's innocent?
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately,
Yeah. Guess
this
you're
case
not
at
getting away
least
with that.
can be handed over to the oratrice to make the final decision.
Oh. What was that ticket thing? Ooh.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Not guilty! Sure, Paimon, you can have this
Great
one.
work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the
Oh,
water
yeah.
from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
So either he's the accomplice or he just wanted to make things more dramatic.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
Coupon Town?
I
the
was just
thing they
following
fed
orders.
into the orchard.
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Yeah, so they weren't gonna suggest that Linny was behind all of the disappearances, but the Fatui was the one causing the disappearances for the past 20 years.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know.
Is it really smart for you to be saying all
discovered
this
that the
in
water can
front of...
cause people to dissolve.
Yeah, is it really smart for you to be saying this, in front of a whole crowd of people? One of those people could have a weapon on them. I mean, this is Tevat. People's weapons can just appear and disappear into thin air. So, it's not like the guards could have effectively taken weapons from people before they entered the opera house.
It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea.
Die now?
I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Yeah, that's what I expected. Oh. But I thought that... Yeah, I thought... Oh, that's... Yeah.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
Who's them? Also, sounds like it hurt, so... What was their plan if Halsey had screamed when she dissolved? I guess they would have just blamed it on Linny and the Fatui. Still, what if people heard her scream before the trick was over? That wouldn't have given you guys a lot of time to get things done, right? No?
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Turning to water here. You know, instead of saying the boss, you could have just given us a name from the start.
Now?
Don't you mean the problem seemed to have been dissolved? Fine, bye.
That's true, but...
I'm leaving now. I will see
Traveler,
myself out.
Paimon! Please wait.
Yes? Why are you speaking to Linny?
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me.
Come on.
Still,
their relation to the
let me
Fatui had
thank
nothing
you
to
again
do
for
with this. We
defending
just
me to the
proved
end,
it.
even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight.
We just proved this man is innocent. Come on, don't be like this, Lumine.
I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all.
Oh, so House of the Hearth isn't an orphanage?
That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
Arlecchino.
She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past.
Sure, tell
Back
me.
when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets.
Oh, so I guess
To
Femine
survive,
isn't your blood
I
brother,
took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several
the one we
days to figure
saw
out how
in
he pulled off
the-
his amazing
The
tricks.
trailer.
I took my sister through several
forgot his
streets
name.
until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But
Okay.
I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
That's nice of him.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks.
Did he
He
pay
would
you at least?
constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't
And I'm
seem
guessing
too
that's
bad
where you met
either.
Arlecchino?
Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
Yeah, I guess.
It took a while for me to realize just how
Ugh.
dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me.
Oh.
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts.
Ugh.
The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no.
Ugh.
So he was gonna...
I think he already
but
did.
wouldn't Fontaine's
instead of
laws
gonna.
deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
I managed to ferret out the location of
It's
the mansion
unfair,
of
but it
that
happens,
so-called
so-
eminent person, and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in,
Oh, is the eminent
all I
person
saw was the
Arlecchino?
moonlit ground covered in blood. And
Oh,
the knave
Arlecchino saved
standing there
Lynette.
in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's nice
That's
of her.
right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a
Oh.
basement, all of them orphans.
That's nice of
Father,
Arlecchino.
I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer.
So she took
The
you
House
in
of the
instead?
Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
Tell that to
I was
child.
hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the
I wonder
noble
if
who had
the
taken us in at
foster
first,
parent is still
giving us
alive.
back our freedom.
And if maybe we'll run
So
into him.
that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
Yeah, so anyway, I wonder if the foster parent, the one that originally took you to, is still alive, and if maybe we'll run into him during your story quests. Yeah, I'm guessing Arlecchino wants to know this.
She
Yeah.
has her own plans.
That you have nothing
She
to
has
do with,
gained
I assume?
permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains
Oh.
it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and
Oh.
save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
Doesn't sound too bad. I mean, compared to other
Today's
Fitsui
case
plots.
has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself
finally said
included,
her,
are from
title.
Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans,
Yeah, I mean,
the
there's
only
no-
connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
Yeah, so I don't remember the whole prophecy, but there's no guarantee that people of Fontaine in other regions won't also turn into water when the prophecy comes true, huh?
So,
they
from
could be
small
screwed
deeds
either
like
way.
distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
I don't know why you can't trust him. Especially after we went through all that trouble to prove that he's innocent.
It's alright. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you.
Thanks for telling us
I just hope
anyway.
you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
Thanks, Lenny. Oh, I guess Femine is also Fatui then, technically, right? If he's also part of the house.
Bye, Linny.
It's nice to see that Paimon is a little more sympathetic than the Traveler. Oh, Paimon. Honestly, Paimon, I'm upset about this too. Come on, Lumine, have a little bit of heart. Not all of the Fatui are bad. So where are we going? Higher? To find a way up? How can I just... Can't climb? So where are we going? Oh, just here? Do I have to go outside? The music though, damn.
Hey there.
Hoyo mix is really...
What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Anyway, as I was saying, Hoyo mix is really like pulling their weight. Like they're doing a good job as always. I'll say I didn't really talk about it much, but I really like the feel of the music and the OST for Fontaine. It just, I don't have the words to describe it. It just feels really somber and also like magical, I guess is the word.
Well, this whole
don't have
thing
the
isn't
words for
exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so too?
Why are you so interested in the serial disappearance? Well, I guess you'd be worried since you are also a young lady of Fontaine. But I don't know how we can help.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Yeah.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now?
Yeah.
And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Yeah. Do you not trust the Hydro Archon's people?
See.
The guards?
Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Yeah, you might have jumped the gun there.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Well, sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me.
Nostalgia? We just met yesterday.
Shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
More macarons?
Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later.
Okay.
Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Let's go eat then.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in.
Let's go.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
To the hotel.
Then, let's have our farewell meal.
Let's eat. Oh. Offerings to the Fountain of Lucine. Fountain of Lucine. Which one is that again? Oh. Ah! No, stop mistyping. fountain of... Is that the fountain of Lucine? Pick up. Oh. How am I supposed to give... Ah. That's what you were showing. Okay. Oh, I'm guessing this is like the trees in Inazuma and in Sumeru. It's pretty. Yeah. Oh, 30. Yeah, I guess I don't have enough. Let's see what the rewards are. Yeah, so it really is like the trees in Sumeru and in Inazuma, and I guess in Dragon Spine too. Where are we going? Here. Good thing I've unlocked that waypoint. Oh yeah, I've also, you know, as you can see from the underwater waypoints that I've unlocked, I've also gone diving. It's fun, it's cool. It also makes me, you know, lightheaded a lot sooner than playing the game normally, so that's fun.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry.
All food
we
is to
haven't eaten
Paimon's
at a
taste.
hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
Calm your tits,
In
Paimon.
that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Ooh,
Oh.
everything looks so good.
Paimon,
People in Fontaine
sit
sure
in
know
your
how
chair
to enjoy
properly.
life.
Actually, don't.
Why,
That
of
that sounds
course.
kind of cursed.
Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
Okay.
You, sure have your own way of doing things.
If the food isn't good, couldn't you have at
It's a
least
farewell
bring them
meal,
somewhere
but
else that
we
actually
could
makes
also
good
treat
food?
it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
I mean, if we're gonna do a victory feast, shouldn't we, I don't know, invite Lenny and Lynette?
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food.
Are those are those extra dishes for Lenny and Lynette?
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they
what's
are
the
really
point of
after.
dissolving people?
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Yeah.
Right?
That was freaky.
Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking.
If only he'd have
We
said
were
his
so close
boss's
to hearing who
actual
was
name
behind
instead
it.
of just saying boss, boss, boss.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability, it's just that a different perspective is required in
I
some
guess it
matters.
makes sense that the mafia
It's
doesn't
easy to
trust the
guard
police.
against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough. Which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exists.
Okay.
Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing.
Highfalutin
That's why we
folk?
exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through. Where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
Alright, I forgot to mention, I haven't seen any of the, like, underground places in Fontaine that we saw in the trailer that Alice talked in. The one that shows like Fontaine has a I don't know, unprotected class of people, I guess. Yeah, I haven't been to that part of the map yet. Maybe I will through a quest or something.
It's alright. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else.
No, for once I want to not get involved with
what
the
are your
country's
future plans?
problems. Yeah, we just wanted to talk to
That's true.
Farina.
We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
You know, Lumine, you've gotten a lot less urgent
your
in your
primary
quest to
objective,
find
which
your
has
brother.
been foiled so far, was to
I
have
mean,
a chat
technically
with the
she
Hydro
did
Archon.
find him. She knows where
I've
he
heard
is,
that there's a
kind of,
long
now.
line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even
Are
methods
you
of,
sure you're not the mafia?
let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending,
what other
and would
performances
agree
they
in
have
order to
there,
finish watching the
other
play.
than Lyney and Lynette
Don't you
and-
think?
Could you suggest something a little more practical?
And a little less dramatic.
This seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then wake her up in the dead of night and
Why?
demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
How do you come up with these things? Also, I'm sure Neuvillette would eat us if we tried to do something like that.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Yeah!
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
How could you overlook the legality?
All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break.
That may not
You
be
did defeat
illegal,
her in
but
court,
it's still...
clearing
I don't
citizens
know.
of hers from false accusations. False
Immoral?
accusations she had nearly upheld
Unethical?
personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
Yeah, she does feel ashamed, so it's worth a try.
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Sure.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Fontaine?
Was this your drink?
You're all eating and drinking like Kakashi. I haven't seen
Sorry
your
about that.
hands move towards the
Really paying
food or
attention,
drinks
and the
at
cup
all.
was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
Salty and icky?
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all
What
finished
is
eating, then
Fanta?
I'll go pay.
Is it like the wine?
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia.
Thanks for treating us with your blood money. They're definitely mafia, aren't they? Oh my god.
Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try walking. I don't know, that just seems a little cursed. Yeah, try floating a little lower.
Can't you see Paimon's barely an inch off the ground?
I can see that you're at your usual height.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with... Huh.
Hey,
Oh my god, are you
Navia,
broke?
What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
Paimon, did you just make the Mafia go broke?
Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your request the highest priority.
Thanks.
In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
Bye. It was nice meeting you, Taylor Swift. As light rain falls without reason. Okay. Now, I think I'm gonna leave it here for today. Tomorrow I'm going back to doing Star Rail because I really want to get the main quest over with before 1.3 starts. Let me just do this first. Yeah, I already saw the trailer for 1.3 and it kind of spoiled some things for me, but well, what can you do? Ta-dam. Yeah, so tomorrow and then the day after we'll go to Star Rail quests because we want to get things over with before 1.3 comes out, and then like later in the week or next week, I guess, depending on when where you are, we will continue with Fontaine quest, like the faint moonlight of yesteryear. Okay, that's all now. Bye bye. I hope you have a good day. I hope that you all, well, if it's nighttime where you are, then I hope you have a good night's rest. Goodbye.